Known as La Doyenne, Liège-Bastogne-Liège has been around since 1892 and celebrated its 100th edition last season. For the 2015 race, the organisers have made a few tweaks to the route. The return of the Côte de la Roche-au-Faucon will be a welcomed addition for the climbers in the peloton. 10 kilometres have also been taken off the course, with the crucial climbs coming much closer to the finish, which should make for a more selective race. Here are Cycling News' top 10 riders to watch for Liège-Bastogne-Liège. Alejandro Valverde is a two-time winner in Liège, taking victory in 2006 and 2008. In addition to that, Valverde has also taken podium places at 4 further editions, with 19th his worst finish in 2009. The Spaniard's build-up to the race could have hardly gone better, after equalling the record for the number of wins at Flèche Wallonne and finishing second to Michal Kwiatkowski at Amstel Gold. Valverde finished second here last year, but the harder course could turn things in his favour this time around. Current world champion Michal Kwiatkowski came of age during the Ardennes last year, and his return in 2015 has reaped some big rewards. He notched up his first win in the Rainbow Stripes at the Amstel Gold Race last week, seizing victory in a reduced bunch sprint. Kwiatkowski had a disappointing Flèche Wallonne during the week. Nevertheless, he looks to be on course to repeat, if not better, his Liège-Bastogne-Liège podium of last year. Only 6 reigning world champions have ever won Liège, but Kwiatkowski could definitely make it 7 this Sunday. Defending champion Simon Gerrans claimed a convincing victory in the sprint last year. Retaining his title will be a challenge for Gerrans, with the route change and injuries conspiring against him this season. Gerrans broke his elbow at Strade Bianche in March, and while his injury has little effect on his riding now, the disruption to his preparation means his form is below where he'd like it to be. He's been at home getting the training miles in since Amstel Gold, and we should see him closer to the front at Liège. Joaquim Rodriguez has twice finished second at Liège-Bastogne-Liège, but he's yet to make that final step towards victory. He came closest in 2013 when he was outkicked by Dan Martin on the final climb of San Nicolas. Rodriguez failed to finish last year's race after suffering 2 broken ribs in a crash earlier in the week. His 2015 campaign has been relatively uneventful, with 4th at Flèche Wallonne his best result so far. He'd be looking to rectify that, and the change in course would be welcomed by the diminutive Spaniard. There's little doubt that Philippe Gilbert is the home favourite for Liège, and the fans will be out in force this Sunday. Gilbert has only once had the pleasure of winning the race that passes so close to his home. He did it in 2011 and became only the second rider in history to win all 3 Ardennes races in the same season. Gilbert's build-up to the race has been rocky, and the Belgian will be hoping that the midweek crash at Flèche is only a minor setback. Dan Martin is one of the 5 former champions expected to line up at Liège-Bastogne-Liège this weekend. The 2013 winner looked like he might become the first rider in over a decade to defend his title, before a final corner crash put him out of contention last year. His condition remains to be seen after a heavy crash at Flèche Wallonne, but provided the fall hasn't hampered him too much, he should be fighting for his second title, with the new parcours similar to the one that he won on 2 years ago. Vincenzo Nibali has shown his form this week by being one of the most aggressive riders at the Ardennes, and that's unlikely to change this weekend. Nibali came agonisingly close to victory in 2012, only to be passed by Maxim Iglinski with the Flamme Rouge in sight. Iglinski's cloud still hangs over him, with the positive EPO test of he and his brother prompting the calls for Astana to lose their World Tour licence. A result at Liège would help ease the stress that the Italian must be under at the moment. Tony Gallopin will be lotto-soudal's main hope at Liège-Bastogne-Liège this Sunday. The Frenchman has continued to go from strength to strength this season, with a stage win at Paris-Nice and top 10 at Milan-San Remo. Unlike last year, Gallopin has not ridden any of the cobble classics, and he'll be hoping that it will stand him in better stead at the weekend. Gallopin chose not to ride Flèche Wallonne earlier in the week, but has had a solid start to the Ardennes Classics, finishing 6th at the Amstel Gold Race. Romain Bardet is one of the few riders that have chosen to ride the Giro del Trentino as preparation for Liège. The Frenchman was forced to take some time off the bike after crashing at the Volta a Catalunya, and has opted to take on the Italian stage race to get some extra racing miles in the legs. Bardet scored his best finish of 10th at last year's race, and is planning to go aggressive this time round as he looks to break into the top 5. Rui Costa will be one of 3 leaders for lampre-merida at Liège-Bastogne-Liège, with Oman winner Rafael Valls and sprinter Diego Ulissi providing more options for the Italian team. Costa's had an up and down relationship with Liège, but finally broke the top 10 in 2013, and he'll be happy to see the return of a much tougher parcours. The Portuguese rider's had a quietly consistent season so far, but 4th place at Amstel Gold shows that he's moving in the right direction.